Come on, Palm. Come on, Palm. I believe it. You want some? Okay.
I'll always just say thank you, Dad. I receive whatever it is you have for me. From the moment you're born, so is your purpose. But along the way, you're trying to figure out what that purpose here on Earth is. But you end up being faced with a lot of challenges. Those challenges build character, and they can also strengthen your faith.
See where she's going with this?
You see where I'm going with this? Do you see where I'm going with this?
I see where you're going with this. So what do you do when the odds are stacked against you and you feel like you really don't know what your next move is? Do you worry? Do you fear the unknown? Or do you activate your faith?
I believe I activate my faith. I believe that my relationship with God is one of the most important things because God gives his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers. On this motivational episode, we're gonna share some of our personal stories of how we deal with obstacles and just difficult things that we pretty much all face in life. I also have some biblical references that I would love to share with you guys that seem to always get me through.
This is Side by Side with Malika and Khadijah.
I feel like I've faced so many challenges in life. I actually look forward to challenge because what I've learned is that the most consistent thing in life is change. And I don't really love change all that much, or the process of the transition, because I'm normally quite good once I get there. It's sometimes things are shifty in the process of getting from one side to the next. How do I handle that? Well, I'd like to sit here and say that I handle every challenge like with an A, pass it with flying colors. That's not the truth. Some situations I handle better than others. It might be because of experience, it might be work, it might be personal, and those things will vary. And I think I'm just allowing myself now to grow through challenges and give myself a little more mercy, accepting that I'm not perfect and the other person is not perfect. And I think applying a little more grace to my challenges has made challenges a little more palatable.
That was a good word.
Like my word?
Yeah.
Makes things just easier to get through, I think.
Yeah.
How you face your challenge, whatever that challenge is.
Do you mean like your mind frame? Are you speaking to relationships?
I think
Are you speaking to something specific?
No, because I just feel challenged almost all the time. Like,
But
I don't feel.
I think that's the thing. You said it. Like, the one thing in life that's consistent is change. And so when you're going through a change, you assume there's gonna be a challenge. And there's, like, no one ever promised us in life that everything was just gonna be good. And it was gonna be comfortable and you were gonna be happy the entire time.
Nope.
That's where the biblical stuff comes in for me, where I go, well, he never promised me it would be easy, but he promised he'd be with me. Or, you know, like just trying to find comfort or peace in your challenge.
Absolutely.
Sometimes the comfort is knowing that even when it's frustrating, you're gonna get to the other side and it won't be like that. Like, this isn't gonna last forever.
You know, it's funny, I really would love to sit here and talk about my challenges, but I have so many of them. I don't know what to pick. Some people go through challenges and they're still able to apply grace in life to everything they do.
Doesn't change
No
them.
matter what they're going through. I think that it's people like that that I reference or pay attention to when I'm going through challenges because they're consistent and they are graceful, even if they're hurting or uncomfortable, but she's also very transparent in it. And I think people that will face what they're going through, ultimately get on the other side of it better, or sometimes even easier.
I think that's a craft perfected over time.
Absolutely.
Or it's like a core thing or a character thing, like it's just in you. Some of us go through hard times kicking and screaming. You're not alone.
I think one of the things I've learned to master is accepting that change is going to come. Even if I kick, scream, yell, cry, or bleed about it.
And we do all of that.
I accept that change will come and I will be better when I get on the other side. I rather run through it versus like be drug on the floor when you do have the option to stand. Some people don't have the option to stand. So as long as you have the ability to do so, it's like fight on. Because guess what? Another one's coming. Oh, Jesus.
You know, there were times, I would say in the beginning of our career, young, because we have been working since we were little girls, there were times we would see or we would idealize other actresses and go, God, like maybe, we just doing commercials, maybe one day we could do a TV show. Then you do a TV show and you go, maybe one day I could do a movie. And you don't really know that that's attainable for you, but something I think that was very helpful, our mother always taught us was you have favor over your life, meaning as long as you're a good person and you do what you're supposed to do and you're responsible and you're good to other people, what you put out there, you will get back. Whatever you work hard at, eventually you will attain. So we just kind of kept that at the forefront of everything we did. Like, okay, well, it's not just booking the job. Okay, once you book the job, do really good at the job. A lot of people are like, okay, I'm gonna be really good in the interview and I'm gonna book the job. And you get to the job and you're not working as hard anymore because you kind of reached what you wanted, but you have to work every day to get what you want. You have to work really hard to maintain the things you say you want for your life before you can ever achieve greater than where you're sitting. So I think it's like favor and working hard, but your favor comes from working hard. Like they kind of go,
Yeah, I think they marry. Everything that Khadijah said about our careers was so true. I don't really think I thought all that much about what my career would be. It changed so much, and I have my hands in so many things that even people don't see. I'm driven and passionate about so many things, but there was one thing I always wanted. Had no idea how I was gonna get it, and it was, his name is Ace now. I always wanted to be a mother, and I just did not know how I was gonna get my boy. And some people have heard this story before. I froze my eggs as a birthday present to myself for 35. And then a year later, here comes Ace.
Naturally conceived.
Those eggs are still in the freezer, but I put the energy out there and spent a lot of money. And the little guy came naturally. So it's just,
You never know.
You never know, but I'm thankful for the investment that I put in, like, into being a mother. Like, I did my part and God did his. And boy, did he do his. That guy's incredible.
That little thing. He is something else.
Mom, sup? Oh my God, why won't he call me mommy?
Because
it's a challenge.
He's a mature boy.
It's crazy.
He says mom.
You're not even 2 yet. Mom,
Yeah.
give me mommy.
Well,
you
you named him what you wanted to name him. Now he gets to name you, and he wants to call you mom. Be lucky he calls you.
I know, it's a challenge I'm dealing with.
Something you got that you wanted.
Shut up, Auntie. Khadijah and I are really, really great friends. That is something we pride ourselves on, as being support systems and loyal and vaults and the go-to people, like,
For each other.
we don't promise that if you come to us crying that we won't cry with you, but we're gonna ride it out with you. That's for damn sure. And sometimes being supporters, we often have to turn around and remind ourselves that we should be that inspirational to ourselves. And I think that's another reason why she and I are so close, because we are each other's motivators, like when we can't do it for ourselves. And I think that
We're each other's therapists,
For
sounding
sure.
board, all of that.
we're learning how to be, I think it's a life journey,
for sure.
we are accepting of the ways that we are strong and mindful of the ways that we are not, and graceful in the way that we hold each other responsible for, like, I want her to love her more and she wants me to love me more. And as long as we hold each other accountable there, we can't lose.
So I would say faith is at the forefront of my absolute everyday.
I think so too.
I've grown stronger in my spirituality. And when I say at the forefront of every day, it's when I wake up every morning, I say, thank you, God, that I opened my eyes, because some people did not. For me, that's just being thankful for where I am and the fact that I am awake. I'm thankful for the people I wake up, with in my home. I listen to praise and worship music almost every morning. It's kind of how I start my day. Now, if you wake up yelling at kids to move faster and you're not awake yourself, you need a little bit of a boost. I need a spiritual boost. So that is how I start my day. But I would say I'm just like you, or just like everybody else. I get knocked off my feet. I get overwhelmed. I get moody. I yell.
You get bad news.
I get bad news. I say curse words. Cursing is my thing. I'm working on it. I am really trying to use my faith and my spirituality and my relationship with God as much as I can.
Faith for me is a daily walk, and I actually think it's quite casual. Faith is independent to individuals because faith, in my opinion, is grace you give yourself. Because you can put equally as much energy into the negative as you could the positive and get completely different results, but you will not know until you try. I walk through life choosing to look at my glass half full, and if in fact some water pours out of that glass, I am able to fill it. I have faith in myself. I have faith in things that turn bad or look bad can actually be redeemed and become good again. I choose to think that way because we know bad's gonna happen. It's life.
Guaranteed.
Life is really freaking hard, but the faith that I have that I'll see a brighter day or that things will get better are like sometimes the brightest part of my day. And that's okay until I get to that next really shiny one. I'm in the hallway till the door opens.
I believe that I am supposed to walk within the plan that God has for my life. I always believed that I was going to be a mother someday. Wasn't really feeling the whole married idea. I think it had a lot to do with our upbringing. Like, our mother was married and then divorced, and then she raised kids by herself, and I was like, oh no, he'll marry you and leave you. So I was never really into being married. I think that was me being fear-driven. I realized that there were things that happened in my childhood that were making me fear-driven. I would make decisions assuming that I would get one outcome and one outcome only if I did these certain things. Marriage was one of them. Well, God definitely laughed at my plans to never be married, because I used to actually say that. I will never get married. I've been married now for 11 years. Clearly, God had another plan for me, and without which I wouldn't have my amazing children. And I wouldn't change that for the world. I feel like that has been my purpose, and it has been written, only I just didn't know that to be true. So I think you have to be open to the possibilities that life can give you. Now, I believe you should have an opinion and have your own plan, or have, like a little blueprint of what you think would make you happy in life, and stick to that. But be open to some of the things you don't know might really...
Just write it in pencil.
Yeah. Get ready to erase some things, because
it gets interesting.
It does. One of them was marriage. Another one was having children. I had tied my tubes, saying, that's it, in fear. I'm really bad pregnant. I'll never have another child. I've had 2 more thereafter. You just never know.
Patient, meet impatient. Patient, meet impatient.
I think I happen to be a little bit more patient with outcomes, being that we don't always get the outcome we're looking for. I do a little bit better with damage control. This one, nope. I think what it
Scream
is
first,
for you,
ask
you want me to
questions.
you want me to tell you what it is? She's a little bit more of a control freak. Okay? Is that fair?
Yeah, no, I am.
So
100%
I think when you're a little bit more hands-on and very strategic and a planner, blah, 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 when you do that and you don't get what you want, it's a little more devastating.
And, in my defense, I think that being a little bit of a control freak and seeing things in black or white has also made me a very successful person.
Yes, it's not a bad thing.
This is
I'm not
something
saying it's bad.
it's something I'm working on because being black and white has been very difficult for me. So now I'm learning how to find more of a gray area so I can give myself a break and also others.
Yeah.
It's not a delicate dance. It's a tough one. I just went through a renovation for my house, and I was in the home every day with anywhere between 10 to 15 men that speak a completely different language from me when it comes to construction and remodeling and this, that, and the other. And here I am, so overly passionate about what I'm doing to me and my son's home. But what I had to learn is everything has a process. And just because I want it done and want it done a certain way, that doesn't mean it's gonna come out that way. And it's funny, this was the hardest project I've ever done, the most rewarding, but I learned so much about myself in it. And I think it was because I was watching other people handle the steps that are necessary to get to goals.
In stride.
Yeah.
Without letting it blow
it's
them
because
away,
stuff just doesn't always get done in that manner. So I kind of learned that, I can't just have a start and a finish.
Gotta
get
gray
through
area.
all that gray in the middle.
And I think that's where I live. So it's like, I'm not always patient. I live in this gray area that the outcome might go one of which ways all the time anyway. I'm kind of like this, like I'm a Pisces, so I do a little swimming.
So am I.
We're just two different Pisces, that's all. We're just two different
up
fish.
or down, left or right. Like I am no compass.
I'm somewhere in the turmoil in the middle.
Guess that's why we're split in half.
Yep, indeed. My first favorite is Romans 3:23, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. And my understanding of that verse is, we all fell. We all make mistakes. We need to forgive ourselves. We need to forgive others and be able to move on. The other consistent in life is change, and then I believe forgiveness. You will notice with everything you go through, those two will remain very consistent. Practice them, try as hard as you can, be patient with yourself, be patient with others.
Go girl. Share a biblical reference that is encouragement for moving forward.
Psalms 112 verse 7, they will have no fear of bad news. Their hearts will be steadfast, trusting in the Lord.
I don't know if anyone knew this, but so Khadijah and I are raised by a teacher, but she was also the Sunday school teacher. So we had to go to church twice a week growing up.
Not including Sunday.
No, that was 3 times a week, sorry. I did get that wrong. We spent a great deal of time in church, around church, with church folks, and prayer became a conversation. And it is subject to anything that is on your heart or the desire of your heart, or simply giving praise and thanks.
Yep.
And that has just become a staple in our lives. And I say it's casual because it's really, truly a part of who we are and how we were raised. I think it's the cheapest form of therapy with the greatest reward. I will tell you that. And everyone gets to decide how prayer works for them and how they communicate in prayer. This one is a prayer warrior. So I make her pray with me, for me, and to me all the time.
She doesn't make me. I pray for her even when she doesn't ask. I've learned that worrying along the way was something I would do, but it was never useful. I would get to the conclusion or wherever I was supposed to be, and it never had anything to do with me worrying. It never affected the outcome. So it was almost like a waste of time. But not only that, it put a damper on the next phase or the next step or where I was going. So I just try to be cautious or conscious of where I'm placing all my thoughts or potential worries. We're all human and we all make mistakes. So how do you turn those human mistakes and error into moments of grace
And praise.
We believe that you will click the subscription button below so that you don't miss an episode of Side by Side.